Nebraska Game and Parks. I am here today to talk about our week 4 of Wild What's Up questions. These are questions that I've gotten from kids from everywhere, talking about nature, things like trees, animals, plants, any questions they have while they're getting outside and exploring some nature. So if this is your first time tuning in, there is an awesome email address that you can email any of your nature-related questions to. That address is ngpc.wildwhatsup@nebraska.gov. Doesn't matter who you are, make sure you email any of your questions that you have, and a naturalist from Nebraska Game and Parks will answer those questions. Make sure you include your name, your age, and your hometown so I can give you a shout out if I answer your questions during one of my videos. Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, so my first question of the week is coming from Donald. Donald attends 7th grade in Southeast Iowa. So hey Donald, thanks for your question. And his question is, can trees drown? Right? That's an awesome question. I can tell that he's really thinking about like how nature works and the processes of things, which is really cool. And guess what? Trees can drown. To survive, trees have to absorb nutrients through their roots, one of which is oxygen. So if an area is very wet, like say there was a flood, the roots will not be able to absorb oxygen and the roots will die, causing the subsequent death of the tree. However, this is a very slow process. Where humans can only survive a few minutes without oxygen, some trees can be fully submerged in water for more than a month. So that's pretty cool. I never knew that trees could drown until I got to do some awesome research for that, so thanks for your question. So our second question is from Danielle, who attends a middle school in Iowa. And her question is, how does animal droppings affect nature? Little did you know, poop is so important to nature, like seriously so important in our ecosystem. Droppings from animals or feces put amazing nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus back into the earth, and this is one of the only places where you can find these amazing nutrients to put back into the soil. Also, did you know that some animals eat poop? It's true. Rabbits, butterflies, and even beetles are all species in Nebraska and Iowa that eat either their own poop or other animals' poop. Once again, it's just because of those valuable nutrients that can't be found elsewhere in nature. Some baby animals even eat their parents' own feces to propagate appropriate bacteria in their young little intestines. And you thought your parents feeding you peas was gross. So great question, Danielle. Now we're gonna go to Kieran's question. Kieran is also at a middle school in Burlington, Iowa. Hey Kieran. His question was, what happens to leaves that fall off of a tree in the fall, but when summer and spring comes, they're not here? Well, let's do some sleuthing. Have you heard of decomposition? It's this interesting process that all organic matter goes through where it is slowly broken down into smaller and simpler molecules, usually through the help of microorganisms or even the weather. So, how does this affect fallen leaves? Well, leaves that fall off the tree to the ground come in contact with bacteria, fungi, mold, earthworms, and all kinds of things that start to break down the chemical molecules inside of the leaf. The byproduct of this? Dirt. All leaves fall to the ground and turn into dirt or soil, usually within 6 to 12 months, depending on the conditions in the environment. The decomposed leaves enrich the soil for more trees to be able to grow, shed leaves, and complete the cycle. Okay, case solved. Good question, Kieran. Our next question comes from Mason, who is also in Iowa, and his question is, what is your favorite animal to talk about? I tell you what, Mason, this is the hardest question I got all week. I love talking about lots of animals that are in Nebraska and Iowa, and I would have to say 3 of my favorites are bats, opossums, and snakes. Bats fill this huge role in our ecosystem by eating millions of bugs like mosquitoes every night, and they are the only mammals that are capable of true flight. Opossums are amazing animals. Did you know that they love to eat ticks? Also, they are the only mammal in North America that has a pouch for their young. When baby opossums are born, they're the size of a jelly bean, and they have to make their way up their mother's pouch and into the pouch to continue their incubation period before they're old enough to come out of the pouch. And my third favorite thing to talk about, snakes. So this is our rat snake that we have here at Schramm Education Center. And rat snakes are a pretty common snake in Nebraska, and you can even find them in Iowa. They're typically this really dark coloration, and one really cool thing about rat snakes is that they can climb trees. Okay guys, he has no feet, he has no arms, no hands, but he can climb a tree. How crazy is that? Another cool thing about snakes is that they catch scent molecules with their tongue. You might notice every once in a while, he'll flick his tongue out into the air. Now he's not tasting the air, he's smelling. That's right, in kind of a roundabout way, snakes smell with their tongues. When they stick their tongue out into the air, it catches these microscopic scent molecules, which they then put into an organ in the roof of their mouth called the vomeronasal organ. And this tells them what they're smelling, which is pretty cool. Do you think snakes are cool? I think so. Okay guys, so that rounds up our questions for this week. Thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions this week while you're out in nature, you can submit a question to our email, which is ngpc.wildwhatsup@nebraska.gov. Send me any questions you have about nature and I'll answer them. And if you're lucky, I'll feature you on our weekly video. Okay guys, make sure you get outside this week. It's gonna be gorgeous. Go check out the birds and the insects and maybe even the snakes that are out in nature. Okay guys, have a good week.